So this eye focus and face focus is so good on this Canon R6 in low light that I literally can't even see my face or my eye on this screen, and I'm able to see, and this camera is able to see where it's at. What is going on, you guys? My name is Daniel and welcome back to the channel where everything mirrorless Canon cameras. I'm going out for some low light photography with the Canon R6. So we are going to head out and see how well this does in low light with the Ibis. As well, right now for the time being, I am just going to leave it on auto, so the ISO is just going to be auto for everything to give it a fair chance at getting the best exposure that it can. Alright, we got down on the other side of the bridge. It's actually quite dark over here now, which is what we wanted. And let's see if we can get any good photos. Yeah, you can't even see the ground that I'm on. There's the bridge. And this was over on the other side of the bridge that I was just shooting off of. These settings are ISO 1600, 40mm, 2.8, 1/8 of a second. Right there. And this one turned out really, really good. I don't see any shake. Before, after. Before, after. And a lot of these colors are just retained super well. And even in these shadows here, I'd say this is an acceptable amount of grain at 16. I'm pretty sure I shot one at a higher ISO for this section, 16. There we go. Here's the higher ISO. This is at 6,400, and the focus point was on the ship rather than the background. So this is gonna be blurry simply because I was focused on the boat. And yeah, there's a ton of detail still left in there. And I would say this isn't too terribly grainy either. And let's hit auto and really take a look. Yeah, like look at that. Yeah, this is kind of ridiculous over here in the back because it's a little bit blurry, but the focus point was the boat. So if we were to take that and we're gonna drop that down in the back. There we go. And you just look at the boat. There's a bunch of detail. I would say this is pretty much usable. You could use this. Now I don't think it'll be 100% usable at such ISOs. And this was at let's see here, 1/10 of a second. So this next section could be a little bit slow, but I have 4 photos that perfectly show how far you can push the Ibis and the colors and the stuff that you're gonna get out of this sensor. So stick with it. If you get bored, skip to the 3rd. I edit that one. And then on the 4th and 5th, I start showing you where the limits of the Ibis actually are. And these are all taken with a 40mm at 600 or 6,400 with the Ibis turned on. So stick with it. Thanks for watching. So the next one I'm showing you is a set of photos, and this is a whole bunch of photos of where I live taken at different shutter speeds. This one shot at ISO 1600, 40mm, 2.8 at 1/200th of a second. And let's just do exposure. And it comes in about right there all the way. I mean, there's an intense amount of grain boosting this there, but you can still make out the windows and things and details that are there. It's insanely grainy because we're boosting it after it's already been taken. So what ISO does is it boosts the sensor, what hits the sensor, and it boosts it as it goes to the card to write it. And then when you're boosting it afterwards, it's the reason that we don't boost radio signals at the receiving end. We boost them at the actual sending end. Same reason. Let's go into this next one. This one is at exact same, except for now it's at 100th of a second. And bringing it up. And zooming in again, much less grain. As you can see, the colors are very much so still there. You got the nice greens and everything, but it is grainy because it is at a high ISO. Let's go to the next one. This one is now at the exact same except for at 50th of a second. So we're pretty much dropping it down an entire stop every single time when we do this. And raise ISO. See, there it didn't have to go nearly as far to get to the exact same spot, and you can see there's way more detail in there. And the colors are still just as good as even at the higher ISOs. Maybe a little bit better, but it just goes to show how good the sensor is in low light. Now let's go to this one. This one is now going to be, I believe, 25th of a second. So another stop down. And right there. Only had to go up about 1.5. As you can see, even less noise. Getting that in there. And really, really allowing this camera to pull in a lot of detail. Now this is pulling in a ton of detail for how, and this is just on auto. Let's see if I can actually, brush this up, because this is the first one that I'd say is actually starting to look really good. And this was all handheld, and there is no stabilization on this 40mm. Let's see here if I can boost some of these colors. And man, that sky, I just love how the light just bounces off those clouds above it. Let's drop this one down here. I really shouldn't, because we have another photo to do. Drop that right there. And that's pretty much how I edit it. Probably a little bit of touch up, cropping in, but that is how it works. Our next photo is taken at 15th of a second. And let's go in here. This is once again handheld. Let's see if we can see any shake. Doesn't take much at all. This one's about the same. I mean, this didn't drop an entire stop. As you can see right there, more detail, more light. It's doing really good. Is that a little bit of shake I see there? A little bit? No, I think that was just an area that was blurry. Maybe here there's a little bit of shake starting to happen with this lens. So it's not noticeable at a distance, but I think there's a little bit of shake being introduced by my hands. My hands are not stable at all. I have a terrible time keeping my hands steady. And then our final photo was taken at 1/8 of a second. And let's go in here. Yeah, you can definitely see that there's shake happening at 1/8 of a second with this. So right there, you can see that starts to come in. And yep, definitely shake there. Definitely shake there. And that is the Ibis finally reaching the maximum limits that it has. And so I think about, what was this one at? At 1/25th of a second is about where I can shoot with stabilization and Ibis only on lenses that don't have it. You could probably push this even further with a total wide angle lens, just because shake is a little bit less noticeable on the wide angles. But this is pretty much where we're at. I think that this is a fantastic demonstration of all the colors that are still in there with this intensely low light situation. One of the first things I've noticed as well with the video mode is that the auto white balance does a lot better than in the actual photography. Like, these are tungsten lights, but it changed a lot quicker. So if everything is tungsten in the room, like when I was in my house, then everything else, it automatically adjusts it. Whereas when it's in the photography mode, I feel like it takes forever. So if you enjoyed this video and want more videos in the future to help you shoot better with your R6, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel where you get everything mirrorless Canon cameras. Hey, thank you for watching. You have a great day.